of Sam the Bellhop. Now, have you guys ever heard the story of Sam the Bellhop?
No.
No? That's good because he never existed. But if he did exist, I bet you Sam the Bellhop would have owned his own little restaurant just down the street from the place called the 654 Club. Now, have you guys ever been to the 654 Club?
No.
You don't get out much? That's okay. I'll still tell the story of Sam the Bellhop, who used to own his own little restaurant just down the street from the place called the 654 Club. So one day, Sam the Bellhop's in his restaurant, and it's kind of slow, a lot like here. When all of a sudden the doorbells ring, the big door swing open. In walk these four guys, and they're dressed up like kings. And of course, that's like. So Sam the Bellhop, he meets them, and he takes them to the next table that he has at his restaurant. So now the kings are sitting at the table and feeling kind of bored, so they decide to call Sam over. They said, Sam, that's what they said. They said, Sam, we're kind of new in town, we're feeling kind of lonely. Do you think that maybe you could find some women who the town go by? So Sam looks at his watches, well, it's still kind of early, but I'll see what I can do. And Todd, could you cut the cards for us? Nice work, Todd. So the cards were cut, and Sam went for a walk. He traveled 1, 2, 3 blocks. He comes back and he says, well, I took a look around, and the best I could do were a couple of brunettes and a couple of redheads. Well, Sam, I said, Sam, this is great, Sam, where'd you get him? Sam said, 654 Club, right down the block. He said, Sam, you're doing a heck of a job. Here's a $2 tip for you, Sam. A $2 tip. So now the kings are sitting with the queens, if you know what I mean, I think you do. And they decide to have a poker game. The only problem is they don't have enough poker players, so once again they decide to call Sam over. They said, Sam, that's what they said. They said, Sam, do you think that maybe you could take a look around and find some card players? So Sam looks at his watch and says, well, it's still kind of early, but I'll see what I can do. And Becky, can I get you to cut the cards? Excellent work, Becky. So again, the cards were cut, and Sam went for yet another walk. He traveled 1, 2, 3 blocks. He comes back and he says, well, I took a look around, and I found you 4 guys. They're all named Jack. Well, Sam, I said, Sam, this is great, Sam. Where'd you find them? Sam says, 654 Club, right down the block. He said, Sam, you're doing a great job. Here's another $2 tip for you. So at this point, they're really starting to like this guy, Sam. Say, you know what, Sam? We're could you just stand over there a second? Sam says, sure, I'll stand over there. And they got into this big poker game. The only problem is that the kings, they ran into some trouble and they owed the girls some money. The only problem is all they have is a $4 cashier's check. So once again, they decided to call Sam over. They said, Sam. That's what they said. They said, Sam, we're kind of in a bit of a jam here. Do you think that maybe you could run down to the bank and get a couple of 20s? So Sam looks at his watches. Well, it's still kind of early, but I'll see what I can do. And Jason, could you cut the cards?
Yes, sir.
So once again, the cards were cut, and Sam went for yet another walk. He traveled 1, 2, 3 blocks. He comes back and says, well, I went down to the bank, and they're all owed 20. So instead, I got you 4 10s. Well, Sam, they say, you know what, Sam, that's just great. In fact, here's another $2 tip for you. So at this point, they're really starting to like this guy, Sam. He said, you know what, Sam, this really is a great restaurant. You know, in fact, I think we're going to come back here again. Sam, so it's great to hear. It's good to have repeat customers. He said to Sam, you know what, Sam, you really are a nice guy. You remind us a lot of the magician. What's his name? Oh, Terry Zink. Oh, come on now. No one's that nice. You're crying out loud. He said to Sam, you know what, Sam? You look like kind of a young guy. Sam says, yeah, well, kinda. We guess your age. You got about 38. He says, you're close. I'm 39. He asked him, Sam, do you live here at the restaurant? Sam says, oh no, I live in a classy part of town. I'm down in Bellevue. My address is 1329 Northeast 8th Street. He asked him, do you gamble at all, Sam? Well, I gamble every day on the 654 Club, right down the block. He asked him, do you ever see any good poker hands for Sam? Sam says, oh, you know what? You wouldn't believe it. The other day I was there, this guy Ryan, he was there. He had 3 7s and a pair of 8s. They said, wow, it's a full house. Did he win? He said, no, his wife Aubrey, she was there. She had 3 aces and a pair of 9s. Wow, did she win? He said, no, Terry Zink, magician. He won because he had a straight flush. And that's the story of Sam the Bellhop in the 654 Club.